What's up, docs? I'm the Pillbug, and welcome back to Friendsim. We're moving on to two of my favorite trolls, and soon we'll be able to go on to Malik and Karako and Wanshi and I'm so excited! But for now, we'll just move on to these two. Still two of my favorites. Of stresses, song, and otherwise. Let's do it! I'm more excited than I usually am because Another night, another ramble. A classic song comes back to you as soon as you continue on your way. Some of that good old earth wisdom about a specific kind of footwear being made for walking. You wish you had that kind of footwear right now, in this current chapter of your life. Or any footwear for that matter. You've definitely learned your lesson about getting overexcited about the prospect of new friends. And running out in nothing but a bathrobe. But who are you kidding? Maybe not in that particular bathrobe way, but chances are high that wasn't the last time you'll fly off the buoyant afterglow of an intense friendigasm. Exactly! Tyzias! Whoa. Hey. This seems a bit too early for the music. Aren't we supposed to be, Hello? I usually can't hear myself think after I see the troll. Hello? Okay. Just up ahead, you see a troll leave her hive, muttering to herself. She's holding an unstable amount of papers and books in one arm, using her free arm to hold a mug steady. She isn't paying attention to you, which is fine. I don't think this should be fine, dude. And don't get it twisted. You'd love to make another friend. You just understand now that it's a weird, flighty thing. Some trolls you mesh with, some you don't. You smile at her just in case, but when she walks right by you without stopping, you shrug. This planet is chock full of friendable weirdos. You'll live. You only take a few more steps before the sound of her absolutely eating shit on the sidewalk makes you turn. It happens fast enough so you only really see the aftermath of upended books and papers raining down in an impressively wide circle around her. Globes. Damn ass rock. Hey, dude. She sits up, but that's as far as she bothers to get. After taking a sip from her mug, which somehow must have stayed level in her grip during her fall, she sighs and gets to work gathering it all back up with her free hand. Yeah, this checks out. As a thing that would happen to me. It's not like I have anything else to be doing. You've seen a teen movie or two in your day. You know this trope. The cool kid helps the unpopular nerd after they fall like a chump and embarrass themselves. Then slowly the pair establishes trust. By the time credits roll, they've gone and fallen in love. Dude, we're looking for friends. We're not looking to fill a quadrant. Not that you necessarily want to fall in love, or that you're under the delusion that you're in any way cooler than her. But still, it's tried and true, and also, like, a pretty standard decent person thing to do. So, like the decent person you hope to be, you skedaddle on over. You stop short just in front of her wide-flung ring of items. You want to make sure she's not going to yell at you or murder you or anything before you interfere. She's a teal, dude, don't worry. What? JK, I busted my ass. I know that's a scene. Well, what are you waiting for? Be a good bystander and stop standing by. She gestures kind of all around her, and that's confirmation enough. You bend to pick up a heavy-looking book, and there it is. Emblazoned right on the cover. A gavel, a humongo fucker of a judgment implement, too, with spines all around the handle. Dread creeps up your spine. You slowly slide your gaze from the book cover to its owner. She doesn't have any ostentatiously blood-color-themed clothes on, though, wow, she is sporting a sock and sandals. Maybe you are cooler than her after all. What the hell is wrong with socks and sandals? What is people's stigma over that? But the very prominent eye bags are tinging teal. I mean, honestly, fuck it, we're past this subject. Globes. A lawyer. It's not that you don't appreciate your one lawyer friend for who he is. It's just, you aren't sure you have it in you to sneak your way into the heart of another. You got kinda lucky last time. The scales of judgment in your heart start weighing your chances. Well, I think we know what the obvious answer is, despite me saving. Don't worry, it's just a habit of mine. Pick up more papers. You start making neat piles of all her stuff. After watching you for a second, like she's making sure you're not screwing it up, she dramatically heaves herself to her feet and joins in the effort. I don't have time for this shit. Make sure to keep the B-34s together in my red folder. You look down at your current pile. B. That's the one with the little hooks on top, right? Or is that G? Sweet pricks at your temples. Or sweat pricks at your temples. You've picked up a little bit of written Alternian here and there, but you're still not anywhere near competent at it. Same here. Sifting through the papers, you search for anything familiar. You make out a few words, but there are just a lot of those little guys on these papers, and you've got performance anxiety. Oh, right. You probably still can't read. You look up at her, startled. How can she tell? Well, I mean, you don't look much like a troll. It isn't exactly a gargantuan mental leap to assume you're not from around here. But also, I've heard about you. You straighten up. Any press is good press when it comes to friends discussing you, right? Teals talk. Oh. Unfortunately. Oh. God damn it. Shit on my desk is distracting me. She puts her mug down on the ground and picks up a fallen book, talking as she flips to whatever page she's looking for. That little asshole is going to have even more unfortunate crap to say to me when he finds out I set us all by Fuck, I can't. Damn it! When he figures out I set us all back by dropping half of our group project in a ditch. She paces in flustered circles until she finds a bookmark among the debris. Flicking a wet leaf off of it, she shoves it in the open spine of the book and slams it closed. Ugh, whatever. I can't think about that yet. I gotta get all this back in order first. Right, yeah, the ordering of stuff. You keep at it, doing the best you can to keep similar looking things together. You can feel her eyes on your back, and you turn to face judgment. You've basically got it right, actually. He did say you were quick at the draw. I'm Tyzias, by the way. She doesn't do much smile at you. She doesn't so much as smile at you as grimace. It looks mostly pleased. As exhausted expressions go, that's as good friendship building material as any other. You've certainly started with worse than being complimented. The breeze plays at the end of her frizzy hair, ruffling a few pages while it's at it. And now that you are frantically trying to prove your helpfulness and have a moment to think, you don't know if the sidewalk is the best place to be starting from scratch with the whole filing system. You open your mouth to tell her as much when a huge papa gust flows in the breeze, Junior's wake, blowing the neat stacks back into chaos. Mother grubbing. She sinks slowly back down to the snow globe of papers, taking a long sip from her mug sitting next to her, and then tilts her head back and unleashes a single deep gut holler. You scuttle around, catching some documents out of the air until the gust is gone. It's not that Tyzias doesn't seem capable, it's just that she seems a bit burnt out. You know what it's like to feel like you're at the end of your rope. So now that you have half a swinging grab at the handle on things here, you feel like it's your turn to do the heavy friendship lifting. Oh god, another! Listen, it's not like I'm not opposed to making choices, but... my god. Suggest that the small breather might help. Offer to help her organize it all somewhere with less of a breeze risk. Well, knowing how much of a workaholic that Tyzias is despite all the burnout thing, I think it might be best if we just offer to organize all of it with less of a breeze risk. Hey, your night is pretty wide open. You wouldn't mind moving this operation to a less windy location and getting it together for real. Yeah, alright. She still sits there kind of dazedly, but so you take over. It feels nice to be useful, even if you're not super confident about your skills. You at least know how to make a mean pile. After you make a handful of them, she moves to join in the effort, so you swoosh her back down. Your helpful McHelp person, and you have got it! She makes a non-committable noise and watches you work. You try not to feel too bad when she winces at a few of your sorting decisions. She doesn't stop you, at least. She scrunches up her face and yawns, which catches you off guard. Man, she's really wiped out. You look away from her to the paper you were about to grab, but it's not there. Maybe it blew into another stack? Or you picked it up already and forgot? Yeah, that's probably right. Anyway, she had her eyes closed and she didn't notice. It'll be fine. Once you have everything kind of together, you help her to her feet. You're pretty sure that was her hive she just walked out of, so you ask if you should go there. No, I was heading to the book hive. I can take you there. She seems to rally a bit, but now that it's her turn to lead the way. She picks up a hefty sack of her things, balances her mug on top of it all, and starts walking. Swear to God, it's like she's tethered to that damn thing, and it's awesome. Move it or lose it. It being the opportunity to engage in some really tedious micromanagement. There's no choice to be had, really. You move it. The book hive is an imposing building, and inside are a series of rooms opening off a central atrium? Is that what that says? You walk past you walk past one open set of double doors showing off a room full of weird statues and display cases, and another one bright with a light of dozens of display screens and humming with electricity. Further around the curve of the room, you pass a room full of brains in jars? It really looks like brains in jars. There's another, still. A windowless one, ostentatiously secured with multiple padlocks and what looks like a retina scanner. A retina scanner. There are a bunch of trolls in each room, and as you keep passing doors, you realize there's almost all teal bloods. And are they the Nerdcast? Wow, harsh. I mean, yeah though. We kind of are. I know plenty of Goldbloods who spend their nerd energy ruining the internet from their basements, and Blue Bloods usually have their own personal jerk-off book hives. And there are always outliers, I guess. But yeah, between us and the Jades, the book hive is blue-green dweeb city. Tyzias keeps moving like this is nothing new. To her, yes it isn't. She pushes a creaky wooden door open to reveal a large study room full of bookshelves and furniture. There are even a few weird-looking ferns decorating the place. And here are a bunch of trolls, some reading many of their computers. You dump the stuff you lugged here onto one of the tables. Hold up. An unusual amount of phlegm than usual today, sorry. The sound echoes in there, and a handful of trolls look your way. Yikes, you hope your presence won't be too conspicuous. You're probably fine. Unless anyone gets horny for acting grown and wants a bounty. Horny? Okay. But you're with me, so they probably won't mess with you. You're a little surprised by that. Tyzias, who has slumped down in a chair and is solidly reorganizing her piles, doesn't exactly give off a brawler aura. No, like they know I'll talk them out of it. Or whine at them about leaving me alone until they do. That makes you feel safe enough. So, time to do some old-fashioned organization. What is this big project anyway? Ugh, it's just some bullshit. She stops and cuts her eyes around the room, but no one's still paying attention. As far as you can see, she starts speaking again, quieter. An assignment for one of my legislative training courses. We're supposed to choose a prospectable offense from the scrolls of discretion and list all the potential. She must be able to sense your eyes glazing over at the idea of another long and not passable legal jar and gramble, because she cuts herself off there. It's barely worth describing. Grub school level, honestly, but it's extremely fucking tedious to research and then annotate. Especially when you can't find sources that haven't been scrubbed nice and fuchsia. Anyway, as long as we get things in the right folders in the right order, we should be good for now. Sounds good enough to you. Plenty of time to keep chatting and getting to know each other. No, she said this was a group project, right? Where are her group members? Shouldn't they be contributing? Like I'd let them. Just kidding. I'm very good at allowing people to help me. She grits her teeth and nods at you, masterfully setting aside the papers labeled with a letter that looks like a little microscope. Case in point. Anyway, they did their parts already. I just want to make sure to add the finishing touches. Right then, you hear approaching footsteps. It better not be some high blood you gotta take out. I mean, you'll do it if you have to. It's tried and true. You're just not sure how well this dynamic duo would fare in that case. You stop scanning the room for potential bludgeoning material when you see Tyzias' expression go from regularly tired to tired and annoyed, but not in fear of mortal peril. You hear him speak right as you start to turn. Hey, Tagora! How the mighty fall, and into a mud puddle it seems. At least my associate seems to be picking up after you fairly efficiently. Fuck off, Sorgor. We'll have it together in time. You sure you don't require any assistance? I'd have to raise my rates from my original offer if you know it still stands. You did your part already. So spare me both your sales pitch and your company before you give me a second acid tube, Ulker. Oh, right. You need to do those final edits of yours. Sexual and anti-establishment agendas don't insert themselves, after all. Suit yourself. See you in class. They give each other an identical but inscrutable hand signal. If the huff of perturbation from a nearby jade is any indication, it's got to be something vulgar. Perish. Oh my god. I don't know if I want to add it in text or in post, or if I just want to, fuck it. Perish. Perish. He smirks and raises his elbows at you as he turns to go. Come by later? You nod. You open your mouth to be nosy, but Tyzias sees it coming a mile away. What? You never had a class friend? Someone who does good work but is miserable to hang out with? I don't have time to waste on more than one quadrant or on lying to you, so don't blow a brain gasket. Just when you think you have all the troll dynamics down, you gotta make room for that cursed bastard nuance. Anyways, you guess it makes sense. You and your troll friends have all kinds of weird vibes with each other, too. Whatever works. Exactly. You go back to happily sorting. Tyzias rolls her shoulders and starts leafing through her piles. Where's my... Have you seen a handwritten page? It should be here. She starts double-checking herself. Her pace doesn't so much escalate as it does intensify. Her whole body becomes a lot most graceful with efficiency. You got everything, right? I thought I watched where it all went. I would have sworn I saw it land. You can help her redo a lost page. It shouldn't be too hard to recreate it. That doesn't help. She glares at you and starts forcefully whispering. Still doesn't double-check in piles without looking, like she knows them by touch. You don't understand. Those were my personal notes on an extremely sensitive topic I discovered while researching. I was only planning on using it to inform my stance, not turn it in with the rest. It's not here. She stops her futile search, down the rest of the whatever is in her mug, and holds her head in her hands. I'm fucked. I might as well lay down right here until moss grows on my desiccated body. That's dramatic. You don't want to blame her for anything, especially since it is possibly sort of your fault it's lost, but you still want to give her hope. Maybe next time she could use Gorgle's docs. It won't blow away, and it has collaboration settings. Use them with... Her head pops back up. Her features slack. I can't use Gorgle docs for this. Are you listening? That was the whole point. You know who owns that, right? Every document is monitored. Analog is the only way to do anything unless you know how to get me into the dark web, which I fucking doubt it. If someone found it, my handwriting is recognized. I'm dead. Then I'll never be able to. She trails off, sort of slumped in her seat, staring into the void. Shit, you really fucked up. You admit to her that you may have allowed one piece to blow away when you weren't paying attention, and that it could possibly have been that one. Great. I can't believe I was stupid enough to let someone else handle things. I was so tired. Her shoulders start to shake a bit. Oh no. She doesn't cry, but you almost wish she would. The way she just keeps blinking back her tears and hiding her face with her arms is worse. It feels invasive to watch, and thankfully it doesn't last. She sniffs once, clears her throat, and wipes her face with her sleeve. Silently, she stacks all her things back in a pile. Okay, I need to retrace my steps. Maybe it hasn't been spotted yet. Maybe it'll be okay. It won't, but oh well. You reach to help, desperate to fix the situation, but she gingerly picks your hand off one of her books and drops it in your lap. Your stomach sinks to join it. No, don't worry. I've got it. She wrestles it all into a precarious heap in her arms. It wobbles once as she makes her way steadily to the door, but she catches it herself. Head high, she keeps walking. She doesn't look back. Oh, come on! All of that for a bad end? You gave me hope! That I did something good! Assholes! This is why I save every opportunity I get. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell, man. Alright, fine. Just a small breather might help, I guess. You know a breaking point when you see one. You weren't expecting it so early in a potential friendship encounter, but still. It's clear that this troll needs some time to chill. This is a mess, yeah? She swings the pendulum of her chin over to glare dead knives at your guts. Okay, yes, it's a mess, but it seems like maybe, just perhaps, it would be best to sort of put a pin in it all. You suck air in and out of our insufflated sacks or whatever and just get it together for a minute. No group projects were ever ace when the clear leader was not at her peak mental performance. She wrinkles up her nose and closes her eyes. You know what? Fine. Fuck it. Not all of it, of course, but this night specifically, and everything and anyone I know or have thought extensively about before in my life. So that just leaves you. What do you have in mind, friend? Because I'm all out of ideas. Hold on a second. I neglected to drink this before I loaded the save. Ow. That word still does a number on you. No matter how many times you hear it, usually is used flippantly. You have an idea already, so you hurriedly gather her shit into extremely unorganized piles, which she drops off in her hive to deal with later. You half expected her to just not come back out, but she does. She's kept only one heavily annotated tome in her mug, which she nods at when she speaks. I know, but these are for just in case. Anyway, do your worst. With a salute and a few gentle tugs at Tyzias' sleeve, you keep her moving. You get going. You and your alternative pals have taken turns leading each other to some pretty wild places in your time here. The place you take Tyzias to, though, is somewhere you haven't shared with anyone. It's where you come back to on days when you can't find a friend, or don't want to impose on any of the ones you've made. It's just on the outskirts of town, where the buildings are spread thinner until the landscape cuts upward in a jagged cliff face, bolted into the side of the rock in a tower, or what's left of it. It's basically a heap of scaffolding and rusted-out ladders holding up a half-covered platform, but it's been a good place to staunch bleeding and stagger ice. Oh yeah, I remember that place. I was... When I make thumbnails, I usually try to look up like references and sizes for the characters. I try to look up this canon size for the reader specifically, but I didn't get any of that. I did get that they lived in an abandoned watchtower on Alternia, so that's cool. I actually completely forgot about that, honestly. Do I give off an outdoorsy vibe to you? Does my half-untucked button-up and paltry muscle mass scream would love to scurry up a dilapidated relic? You'd worry about her hating your plan, but you kind of feel like she's she's complained no matter where you took her, and at this point the dot is cast. So, heave-ho, you say, it's stronger than it looks. You offer to hold her stuff for her during the ascent. She gives you the book, but clutches the mug against her chest. You know better than to pry, but you're dying a little wondering why she's so weird about it, unless she's got liquor made from viscera in there. Or maybe her Lucis gave her the mug, so it's special. Could be both. You shrug and start climbing. Like you thought she would, she follows you. And like before, she complains about it the whole time. And like the structure itself, you both weather it fine. At the top, she looks around. This is your hive? It's more like a hideout. You still feel a little shy about it. It's not as fancy as your friends' hives, and you don't have any weird animal parent to make you snacks or anything. There are only little keepsakes you've picked up along the way, set up on this creaky old table next to some complicated old tech you couldn't get to the power on. This must be an old watchtower. From when that was part of her Imperial bitchiness's preferred method of surveillance. She runs a hand over the dusty screen. Oh, Tyzias? You learned about her. No. Her bigger, badder, off-world counterpart, the Condesk. You look at the rusted barrel of some terrifying weapon mounted in the corner, and then out over the landscape and sprawling town. In the distance, smoke rises from a freshly demolished hive. Glinting in the moonlight, drones circle it like buzzards. It's been like this here for a while, then. You sit down, your legs dangling off the side of the platform. Tyzias joins you, a safe distance away from the edge. That is one hell of an understatement. But yeah, we've got a time-honored status quo in operation here. Streamlined, efficient, brutal. Tyzias looks miserable. That's not what you were going for. You summon up the old Roy G. Biv in your head for the 1000th time. She should be safe, right? Teals are middle class? And anyway, she's a lawyer. She's got the powers that be on her side. Saying so doesn't seem to cheer her up at all. I mean, you're not wrong. But being in a position to benefit from the system doesn't make the system more morally palatable. And if I'm being real about it, it's more me being forced to uphold it than anything else. She nods towards the book in your hands. Oh, right. How does this all work anyway? Can she just not be a lawyer? And aren't there good ones? Yeah, I can quit if I want to get called. There's always a choice. She sighs. It's not like I expect suffering to ever stop completely. It just seems like an awful lot of work to do to make sure it keeps happening. And that's the entire job of a legislator. Unless you're purple enough to get away with it, you're just guilty, no matter what. It's just a matter of going through all the fanfare of a trial, all for the same result. It's sick, but it's so normal by now that no one knows how to begin questioning it. She looks more exhausted than she did during the paper explosion, like when you used up all your sadness and all you have is a deep, broken fatigue. This isn't exactly the rejuvenating getaway you've envisioned. There's just so much injustice. You continue to try to be positive. Are there not political parties, some secret underground movements or anything? Sure, most lowbloods you've met have a healthy, fatalistic nonchalance about their situations, but there's gotta be something else out there. There were a few people who tried to stir shit up back in the day. They're talking about the ancestors. It's all kind of hushed up and hard to find any information on the history of them, though. Definitely not the kind of thing they teach you in legislator training. One was a mutant blood, and the other had wings. So I guess they didn't have much of a chance anyway. You can't imagine this sort of story having a happy ending, but you still want to know more. There's the subtlest shift in her tone of voice now that she's doing more than only complaining. It draws you in. One of them seems to have gathered enough of a following to have become a kind of religious figure, from what little I can find about him. The other one led a military revolution. Revolt. I meant to say revolt. They both were killed along with their attempts at change. I don't even know what happened to their compatriots. She stops to squint at you. I don't know how you got me talking like this, but in the fuck it spirit of the night, I'm just going to keep going. If it wasn't clear, I'm telling you things that can get me extremely cold. So, please be chill. You're so chill. The chillest! And also probably pretty callable yourself. Good point. She squints at you a little longer and then stares out into the night. Her jaw muscle clenches a few times before she speaks. I have some ideas. She's still not looking at you, but she sits up a little straighter. You feel your spine following suit almost on its own. All of us training to be legislators like to practice throwing our weight around. Some of us more than others, which I guess you have first-hand experience with. But we don't have much real power yet. We will, though, if we pass our exams. Which I will. I've been staying up most days studying every documented piece of the law, and some underground stuff too. When I find it, there are exploitable loopholes they don't know about. If I can establish myself as a major player, I might have a chance to change things. Some things you can only take apart from the inside out. By now she built up a fevered energy. Even with the sluggish way she talks, when you shift in your seat, she kind of snaps out of it. Oh, sorry. I guess I got a little worked up. I don't exactly get to talk about this very often. It's kind of overwhelming to think about how fucked every little thing is all the time. But now that I see it clearly, I can't not do something. It's like Alternity is a giant fire and I'm pissing on a tiny corner of it while the rest of everything burns up around me. Your brain is buzzing with how real all that felt. You can't really add anything to it, so you just nod. Are things less abysmal where you're from? Oh boy, in ways, yeah. At home the accused is called a defendant, at least, as in they get a defense. Her eyes brighten. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Does your justice system work? You exhale slowly, trying to buy yourself time to encapsulate all of your planet's various cultures, societal structures, and similar overwhelming list of injustices in an intelligent blurb. You settle on not always, and not for everyone. Her laugh is short and hollow. So much for enlightened life forms existing somewhere in the universe. You guess until a more than just alien life form comes to take over, you'll have to make do with each other. Yeah, you're not so bad. I'd take on an oppressive regime with you anytime. She gives your arm an awkward tap with her fist and then looks back out over the edge. Anyway, I'm no religious figure or military strategist. There's gotta be someone out there who is. Gotta use what skills I have instead, I guess, until I find them. What the fuck else would I do with my time? Keep pissing on the fire is the best anybody can do, you reckon? That and get others hydrated enough to do the same. She laughs. Keep on pissing, huh? I'll drink to that. She takes a big swig from her mug. After a beat, she silently and without looking at you extends her arm your way. You stare into the mug's depths, a little unnerved. It doesn't look like a viscera, but you've been burned before. It won't kill you. You're not sure what it will do, but Tyzias is truthful, if nothing else, so bottoms up. What the fuck? It's water. Tyzias grins and taps her temple with a claw. Gotta give the people something. Otherwise they might think I'm the way I am on my own. Then where would we be? You don't know. letting people in can be helpful, sometimes. Shh. I'm fine. You're not convinced. Okay, I'll admit it. It's not a bad idea to relax every once in a while. Get your priorities straight. This was a decent time. You're glad she's glad, but you mostly just talked the whole time about the same stuff that she was overwhelmed by to begin with. Does that even count? You learned a lot, but she still looks pretty wiped. As soon as you think that, she yawns. She's so driven, you shiver a bit when you imagine what she could do if she took time to rest for real. You pat the pile of blankets next to you. It's no bed, or tub of soap or slime for that matter, but it's gotten you through enough. She looks warily at it and yawns again. I guess my Lucis and my mate Sprit will just think I'm at the book hive anyway. One little nap won't hurt. I'll get up early tomorrow and reorganize our stupid busy work project. She tentatively lowers herself down onto the blanket. Her eyes close for a brief second before they snap open again, glaring at you with full force. Don't doubt me either. I've got it under control. Oh, you have zero doubts in her abilities, you say. She curls back up against herself and a small rattle of contentedness shakes in her throat. Out in the distance, the blaze has dimmed to a thin palm of smoke. You hope whoever's hive it was is okay. You're not sleepy, so you'll keep watch to make sure she gets up by sunrise. You tilt your head back and look up at the unfamiliar constellations. Excuse me. Your head feels full. It's intense and not exactly what you'd call happy, but you know you're feeling it with her, and that's far from nothing. There we go! A victory! Holy shit! Oh my god, that is the cutest goddamn scene I've ever seen. Look at them! They're so cute! Alright, anyways. I'm gonna end this episode here, and then I'm gonna record more later in the day. Trying to get a new recording schedule to go with my work week. So hopefully I'll have more videos out in a week, maybe month, I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, but I just hope I'm able to fucking commit to this schedule instead of just laying on my bed watching YouTube like I usually do. Or being stuck doing the dishes because I put them off until there's like an entire pile of it. But that doesn't matter. For now, thank you guys so much for watching this series. This episode, not series. Series isn't over yet. If you liked it, hit the like button down below, and I'll see you in the next episode of whatever the heck I make. Ciao!